You're such an asshole!
Hey everybody, the old captain here, and this is an original one. It's not a video request. If you're new to this channel, you'll be like, what's he talking about? Go look me up, it's a thing. Anyway, what has happened is I have received a ton of, not a ton, but a lot of emails and requests over at Asshole Consulting where it's the same question. And even though I'm shooting myself in the foot and costing myself future business, I'm a really nice fucking guy. So I decided to be really fucking nice and do this charitable PSA video. Now, we're going to talk about the 5 mandatory years of college, right? As you young kids coming out of high school right now, you think that there's only 4 years of college. There's your freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. So you go to school, and you graduate, and you have your degree, and you can't find a job, right? What they do not tell you is about the 5th mandatory year of school, and that year is called figuring the fuck out what you want to study in college. Now, you have a choice. With the title, there's freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. And what's great about this 5th, figure the fuck out what you want to study in college, what's great about that year is you can take it whenever you want. It's not in order. You don't have to graduate your freshman year to go to sophomore, junior, junior to senior. You can take this year whenever the fuck you want. Now, logically, you would say, with the title of Figure the Fuck Out What You Want to Do in College Year, you would think you would take that before your freshman year. You know, like at the beginning. So here are the 4 years. You put that year here at the beginning. All right? But no, that's not how we do things in America. We follow our hearts, so the money will follow. Teacher, Miss Lady who's never left school, you went K through senior year to college and then went back to K? You don't know jack shit about the real world. Please tell me what I should major in, person who's never worked in the real world. And you tell, just do what you want. It's a college experience, We'll have a latte, we'll talk to Oprah. And then you guys go right to college, truly not knowing what the fuck you want to do in life. And then you graduate, or you're in the middle of it, you're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do in college. Should I even be in college? College sucks. Oh, I graduate from college. My degree is worthless. I can't find a job. Which means I have to go back to fucking college. So here's the choice I'm going to present to you kids. Right? The minimum amount of time you have to spend in college, the minimum, is 5 years. Okay? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and figuring out the fuck what you want to do in college. Right? And if you don't put that figuring out what the fuck you want to do year up front, in between your senior year in high school and your freshman year in college, right, you will then have to put it at the end of your senior year, which means by necessity you'll have to go back to college. So the least amount of time you're going to spend in college is going to be 5 years, or not graduating from college. Because the good thing about figuring out what the fuck you want to major year, you don't have to be paying a professor for that. You could be working, building up money, so you're not an indebted fucking schmuck when you graduate from college, like all your fucking millennial peers. You could work a little bit, get a little bit of work experience, maybe take a trade, maybe you don't even have to go to college. But if you do that, if you spend the time up front before you go to college, that is going to result in you knowing what you want to study, knowing what's going to happen after you graduate, kind of being, no guarantees, of course, but having a really good idea of what your profession or career is going to be like, rather than every other fucking dipshit out there that goes to school fresh out of high school. I don't know how to figure it out. It's my passion. You piss away a shit ton of your parents or your own or the taxpayers or all three monies, and then you graduate not knowing what the fuck to do. And then you gotta go back to college, piss away more of my money, your parents' money. Probably if you're an idiot, you'll get a master's of some worthless degree because, yeah, if you can because since you didn't get a job with a bachelor's degree, that must mean it's a really great degree. You just need to get a master's. Oh, well, you just need to get a doctorate. When do you guys wake up with this fucking racket, these baby boomer professor scumbuckets are raping on you? Anyway, so for the smart people that listen to my channel, and I do mean that, I really do mean that, right? This is not a channel for normies or inferiors. This is a channel for superiorly intelligent people. Take your time first before you invest 4 years of your life and Lord knows how much money majoring in some bullshit degree, all right? This is why I wrote the book Reconnaissance Man, I thought it would address the issue, but it's not. If you want a more detailed analysis on how to do this, need a hand-holding, get the book Reconnaissance Man. But in very, very short order, it tells you to figure out who you are first, take the time to figure out what you want to do in life, travel the country, even though it's going to be on the cheap and it's going to be with a really crappy car, figure out what's out there for you, figure out about yourself, do some philosophy, do some introspection, do some self-contemplation. And then after that year, you'll have a pretty good idea of what's out there, who you are, and where you belong in this country or this world. And then, when you know for a fact what you want to do, being a child psychologist is not one of them, girls. Then when you know what you really want to do, accounting, engineer, tradesman, military, whatever it is, then put forth your effort. Then go to college. Because here's the sad truth, and I know a lot of people think, well, I thought about it in high school. No, you haven't. You've been stuck in a prison called the K through 12 public school system. And even the private schools are just as bad. Right? You've been stuck there. You have been held back by inferior people, namely your teachers. Right? And look them up. They have the lowest IQ of most college graduates. You're not challenged. You got to be stuck with the normies. You can't go too fast. You can't go too slow. Right? You're playing to the lowest common denominator. You're woken up at 6 a.m. You're in class at 7. You have no time to really contemplate or think about what you'd like to do in life and in the future. And, I might add, these teachers of yours who are your BFFs, oh my God, they just love the children so much, they don't know. I'm being serious. I hate teachers. Trust me, I have a genuine bigotry against teachers. But this is true. They don't have any real world experience. They never left school. From the age of 5 to whatever the age your teacher is now. Just look at it. You're sitting there in the classroom. Look at your teacher. Say, holy shit, Mr. Jones is 55 years old. He's been in school for 50 years. Unless he actually has or she has some real world experience. And that's cool. Those are the cool teachers, all 3 of them that have real world experience. Anyway, my point is, you are headed up by people who have no clue, the vast majority of them, no clue what the world is like outside of academia and education, K through 12 system. So they're not going to be able to give you advice. So all this career advice, all the like, you should follow your heart. And please tell me, have any of your teachers not said that? Has any teacher not said, follow your heart and the money will follow. You do what your passion. Passion, heart follow. Has they said anything different than that? Like, yeah, you really ought to go into engineering because that's where the money is. Has any of them said that? Are any of your teachers telling you the real world truths like we do here at Asshole Consulting? Right? Because that's my point. They're biased. And not only they're biased, they're clueless. They're ignorant. They're blissfully ignorant. They only work 9 months a year. They have not a clue what the real world is like. And then you just, I'd like to be a teacher like my teacher because everyone can be teachers. Imagine an economy full of teachers where nothing fucking gets produced or done. We don't need farmers. We don't need electricians. Just teachers. Oh, yeah. So please, take the time. You don't need to, there's no rush. I don't love you. I'll fall behind. This is for some reason with my clients who are Asians or immigrants. Oh, I'm falling behind my peers. My parents need to compare me against my cousins. Like, dude, not like there's jobs waiting for you guys. Right? You could take your time. If you graduate at 23 or 22, it doesn't matter. But I tell you what will matter. If you go major in journalism or sociology or anthropology or whatever bullshit you think you have an interest in, only to find out there's no jobs, then you got to go through and do this year of college, or first year, the sit down and figure out what the fuck you want to do year, that fifth mandatory unmentioned unknown year. You got to do that after your 4 years. You get to go back to college at least for two, probably 3, because pretty much none of your classes you took in your major are going to help you be employed or get another degree that is actually worthwhile. Right? So, the 5th and unknown mandatory year of college. Right? You're going to take it one way or the other. If you want your life to be a lot easier, you'll be successful by the time you're 23 and not 33. Right? Take that year up front. College will always be there. Colleges will always gladly take your money. They will always be there, more than willing to take your money. They're not going anywhere. All right? Figure out first what the fuck you want to do. Take a year. Study every night. Just 15 minutes even, I'm just saying. But look up, what's this job like? Go work a couple part-time jobs. Go walk down to the factory and figure out what's it like to be an auto worker union guy. What's it like to be a legal clerk filing person? What's it like to be an accountant? Go and check this shit out. Spend a year doing it. A year. All right? And then you'll say, aha, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I want to do. And then going forward, trust you me, guys, I know people who are like, I always wanted to be a teacher. This guy totally could not be a teacher. But he forced it for 20 years, and then he died of a heart attack after he retired because the kids drove him up the fucking wall. Figure out first what the fuck you want to do before you piss away so much money and time, your time, everybody else's money, on a worthless college degree. 2 books, guys, 2 books. If this isn't enough for you, need more details, and then it's going to help you. 2 books will help you. Right? I think they're maybe $30 total, and you can get them on audiobook as well. But for $30 and maybe 8 hours of your time, you will save yourself years, potentially decades, and certainly $100,000 in bullshit tuition that never went to a good degree. Get my book, Worthless. Okay, Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major, and Reconnaissance Man, also written by me. There is no subtitle. Get those 2 books. They're available in audio. If you don't like reading them, I understand. I hate reading too. That's why I put them in audio books, because you read? No, but you're an author. I'm like, yeah, it's a different world I live in. But get those books, kids. I'm being deadly serious. It'll save you. And if you don't believe me, just go look at some of your older brothers and sisters. If you don't have older siblings, you're the oldest, all right? Learn from older friends. Watch, look, read online. I mean, it's not like you got to go on. There's a lack of articles about kids that graduate with a ton of student loans and can't find jobs. What they don't tell you, because they don't want to hurt your precious feelings, is they majored in stupid bullshit and didn't figure out what to major in first. So that's all we got. If you guys have questions, you can always contact me at assholeconsulting.com. If you need an emergency consultation, you can find me on Praxi. It's the Praxi app, Praxey. You can install through the Google Store, iPhone Store, whatever that's called. We have my blog, CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com. We have my podcast called The Clary Podcast. That's on SoundCloud.com. And as always, all my books. Yes, I know I mentioned those 2. There's other books. I'm a freaking genius. You should go read them all. You'll be in infinitely better shape than me if you did by my age. So it's basically, my books are basically, don't fuck up like I did, but it's detailed and it's a little bit more instructional than that. So anyway, that's all we got. We'll catch you kids later. Toodles.